At 40 knot winds and Anglesey, blimey. That's unexpected. I know that, where's it gone? Let's find a browser. There was some pretty nasty winds off the Atlantic. See? There's this big swirl kind of building up here. But if you live like this here, yesterday was cutting right across Scotland. But yeah, over the south of England, we've got a nice breeze. But if you look at the temperatures, you can see like how hot it is down here. And if you actually play this forward, you kind of see the heat moving up. See that? So that by Tuesday, I think it's about Tuesday. There you go. Actually, they predicted it's moving away slightly. This whole red was coming over here. Looks like it's moved slightly. So Monday, what's that, 4 p.m., 3 p.m.? Monday, 3 p.m., pretty warm in London. Tuesday, now not as hot it was planned to be. And the wind's looking pretty calm. But yeah, if you're over in France or Germany, good luck, enjoy that. You can keep that. Oof. Look at this. I couldn't live here. I don't know how they live in these, like, it's just horrible temperature. Perfect weather for flying. Not really. Like, warm weather flying's not the best because there's a lot of energy in the air, so it tends to be a bit... The best air to fly in is cold. Cold air is wonderful. Winter, if you get one of those clear winter days, that's the best flying experience. It's like butter up there. But yeah, on a summer, there's a lot of energy, a lot of turbulence. Once you get up, it's fine. Yeah, look at this. Look at that swirly. You see this on Tuesday. I'm wondering where that's going.
Happy anniversary.
The Modicide, thank you for 5 months. Guitar Man, thank you for 2. Milan Radsnake, thank you for 30. Right towards your house. Yeah, they don't. I think they're a bit unsure. I think it was going north of Scotland initially, but it kind of... It looks like they're changing their minds about where it's going.
Welcome back, Nutter.
It looks to be heading south, interestingly enough. And then kind of dissipating. Fun times ahead. Bird Lover, could you not, please? Thank you. The answer to your question is yes, I'm further north in Edinburgh. Okay, where are you?
Happy anniversary.
Dr. Introvertus, thank you for a year. Here's the year of getting Jeff Bezos closer to being a trillionaire. Well, not if you keep giving his money to me. I mean, if you keep paying money to him, yes. A trillionaire, that's scary, isn't it? Imagine being a trillionaire. You can actually buy a country. You're welcome, Cotton Cuddle. I'm glad you're enjoying things. Right, today I've booked a bunch of flights here, as you can probably tell. The first flight we're going to fly is this one here. We're going to take these Alliance Groenlandes, whatever that means. We're going to fly from LFRS, which is Nantes, up to PO, which is Paris-Orly. 186 miles on the initial trip, and then when we get to Paris-Orly, we're going to pick up a whole lot of people that are going to 2 different locations, but roughly southeast. We're going to stop off at SD first and drop these off. And then we're going to pick up 3 more people that are bagged from SD that also want to go to Elfly. And then we're going to take them with those. That's the plan. And then when we get to Elfly, we're going to fly this lot to Elflip, and Lille. And then after that, I don't know. We'll see where we're at then. I might go somewhere else at that point.
Happy
We'll see where we're at.
anniversary.
Mr. Rob Jensen. Wow, 3 years. Has it that been 3 years? Twitch has been nagging me about naming the 4th baby, so I shall call it Nutty the 4th. Hope you're well, Rob. Thank you, mate. I can't believe that's been 3 years. Pepsi Fever with 30 months. Thank you, guys. The programs like this for large airlines, destination pickups. I don't think there's really anything that properly serves the airliner. I think the problem you face with it, with something like that, is the economy is very difficult to balance. So I don't think anybody's done it yet. I could be wrong. If anybody knows of a system, let me know. PS4 Gamer, thank you for 68 months. Anyway, so let's start planning a flight, shall we? So I brought up Navigraph and I punched in LFRS, LFPO, told it to fly below airways, and it kind of picked up on this routing, which I looked at and went, okay. I think I could see, is that there's like an Anja, there is, Anja VOR there. And also, oops. I had a look over here and thought we can probably get an arrival in here. So that was my next step, was to look at what's available. You checked out Honor over the past week. So much better looking and far more to it than FSE makes being paid add-on worth it. I actually fired up Honor this morning. Fired up the installer, clicked on register. It went to their website. I put my name, email address, and password in. It sat there, spanned for absolutely ages, and then both the client and the website came back with a massive .NET error. So I tried it again, and it came back with the .NET error, so I closed it all down. I couldn't even register. So that's how far I got with that. The servers were down. Yeah. I think I need to learn much about flying. At least I can now take off and land without crashing. Dude, I mean, anybody can take off, right? So you can at least take off and fly around and have a look at the scenery and enjoy yourself. Landing, that's something that you need to work out, but you can still enjoy yourself. I did do a landing video, Rob. I don't know if you've seen it. It might kind of give you some tips. There's a few tutorial videos just to help you, like, stabilize your flight and land and stuff. Good video on the ILS approaching the week. Enjoying the learning. Thank you, dude. Must be overload from FSC being down so long. Could be. Could be. I mean, FSC and Honor are kind of different things, really. One's aimed to be a personal experience with a nicer interface, and the other one is more of a, you know, online, worldwide experience. You nailed your first smooth landing thanks to these tutorials. Dude, I bet that felt so good. I bet when you landed, you had a big grin on your face. It reminds me of how I felt when I did my first ever solo flight. You never forget your first solo. I think the first solo sticks in your mind more than even when you get your PPL. Like, getting your PPL is happy days, but your first solo flight is just, I don't know. You just don't forget it. It's when you get up there and you're in the plane downwind and you're like, hang on a minute, there's only me in this plane right now. There's only me. I have to land this thing. And when you land it, you're like, oh my God. Tsuharuk, good morning. I can't believe FS Economy's not taking registrations. I thought they would have been on top of that by now. Finally, your 21.9 videos available in 1440 bandwidth. YouTube needs ages on your videos. I don't know what's going on there. How nerve-wracking was your first solo flight? It wasn't so bad because my instructor was quite clever. Well, I mean, Eddie was an old boy, so he was pretty experienced. He never gave me any warning in advance. Like, if he'd have said to me the day before or the week before, when you come in tomorrow, you're going to do first solo, I would have been non-stop thinking about that. Yeah? But he didn't do that. We just did some circuits. Yeah. And then he landed and he went, right, I'm going to jump out now. Just do exactly what you just did. He tied the seatbelt up. He said, the only difference is I won't be here. The plane will be a bit lighter. You'll find it takes off better. Just do exactly what you just did. And then got out of the plane and walked off. And I was like, well, okay then. I guess I'm flying the plane. So I didn't really have time to get nervous and think about it, which I think is probably the best way of doing it. Denver Colt, welcome back. They only have 1 page left of registrations. Oh, nice. In that case, they should open up applications again. Yeah, I flew. So I had a great day yesterday, guys. I don't know if you saw my pictures on Instagram. I'll just find them up quickly because they were really good. I did post some pictures here of my flight yesterday. Can we make this bigger? Apparently not. Can't zoom that in. I flew down to Lid. Went over Southend. Actually cut across Southend's airspace. Went down to Lid. If you don't know if you know where that is. I'll quickly show you where Lid is. In fact, has this thing got the login here? North Wheel to Lid. There you go.
Happy anniversary.
There you go. That was the flight back. That's what you're looking at here, pictures. So Lid's down here, in case you don't know where we are. South of the UK though. So yeah, there's London in the middle, right? Got it. So there's Lid down here. So we took off out of Lid and basically went over to Tunbridge Wells here and then tracked north. And then this bit here, these like donuts you see in here, you might be thinking, oh, they're not very circular, but the first one, I was actually avoiding another aircraft that was coming in at the same altitude. It was coming from south to north as I was going north to south. And then the second one was a donut. And I was thought to myself, I'll just spin round twice more because I was waiting for Heathrow Director to give us permission to go in. Because you need permission to go into the controlled airspace here. So I was waiting for Heathrow Director and he was really busy. And I thought, well, we'll just wait 2 more laps and then we'll give it up. But then he cleared us in. So we basically went in here. And that's London City there. So that's what you're looking at. There are more pictures than this on my phone, by the way, but I only uploaded like 4 of them. So that is about, that's about here on the bend, just there, just like banking to the right and looking left. This is the O2 here. O2's just on that bit there. So that bit of water here you see is that bit of water there. And then the Docklands areas here, which are all those buildings at the back. And then, if I go back one, so this is, these are not quite in order. This is when we was about here. So round about there, just coming in, that's London City there. A great little airport. I would so love to land at London City. I'd so love to land it, but just overflying it was so good. I don't know why, it's just one of my favourite airports. And then, that was a bit further along. I mean, if you go on Instagram, you can actually zoom in on these. These are quite high-res pictures. But that was my favourite. So that was just literally here. Like, tracking northbound and looking to the right. London City there. It's I don't know how much it is to land here. It doesn't actually tell you on... If you go to London City information, normally, if you click on fees, fuel and facilities... Normally you get information there, but it says nobody sent us any feedback, so you probably have to go on the website or phone them up. Yeah, that was in the 172. But yeah, that's what I did yesterday. That was a lot of fun. Let's get rid of that. Five-degree glide slope. Yeah, but it's not a problem. In a small plane, it's like the 5-degree glide slope is no big deal. You can see it when you come in. From the east, you can see the PAPI lights are always indicating that you're low, even though you're not, because of the high angle. How often do you fly? I had lots of plans for flying this year. I was booked in for cross channel flying. I was planning on going to France in summer. I had so many plans for flying this year, and they all went out the window. So at the moment, I've got back in the cockpit and just I need to get up some more hours now to get my my single engine piston rating expires at the end of the month, but has been extended to November because of COVID. So I've got to fly like another 7 or 8 hours, I think, and then that'll be revalidated for 2 years. But yeah, hopefully I can do the channel stuff next year maybe and go to France. I'd love to go down to Le Touquet. I'd love to go to Jersey. I actually want to go to the Isle of Wight. I was kind of wondering if I can go to the Isle of Wight this year. Let's get rid of that route. Because the Isle of Wight is only here. And I was thinking I might go in and land at, what's it called? Sandown. Because it's only a short hop across the water. So if you basically track along the coast, the only thing you really need to watch out for is Shoreham. Like Shoreham Airfield there is a bit of a pain, but you can go over the water and like bounce around it. Just stay off their approach line. Everything else is fairly easy along the coast there and a good view. And then, of course, once you get to sort of Bognor Regis area here, you get near Portsmouth and then you just track over the water and land at Sandown. It literally takes about, I think it's about 5 minutes or 6 minutes to get across that bit of water. Do you live near Lydd? No. No, I live up here in Chelmsford. Where's Chelmsford? Buried in this mess. There's Chelmsford. Right there. So Chelmsford's a bit... We get a lot of GA planes flying over here because if you actually look at this map, you see the blue areas? So like to the northwest of us, we have Stansted airspace, and then to the southeast, we have Southend airspace. So an awful lot of traffic tends to come through over Chelmsford. And because it's quite a nice big city, they tend to sort of, you know, do a couple of donuts and have a look around and then buzz off. But we get a lot of traffic come through Chelmsford. But it does mean, because I fly out on North Weald, which is just here. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's North Weald right there. And North Weald sits underneath this airspace shelf, which is called TMZ2 or something. London Stansted CTA. I think it's called TMZ2. It's that yellow sector there. So the airfield sits under that shelf, and that shelf starts at 1,500 feet. Our runway elevation's about 300, so you don't have a lot of room to play between these two. And you've got to basically, you know, you take off, and then you turn either east or west, get out of that shelf, and then you climb. It's a bit like the VFR corridor between Manchester and Liverpool. It is exactly like that, in fact. In fact, the VFR, the nearest thing to that corridor that you're talking about, where is it now? But they unlike down here, they actually have, that corridor there, they actually have routings here, I think, that you can take. It's a very narrow corridor, that one. But the nearest thing we have to that is Southend London here. So you also get a lot of traffic going north-south between these two, which is where Dartford Crossing is. That's the Thames there. On the north side is Lakeside Shopping Centre. On the south side is Blue Water Shopping Centre. And you get a lot of planes that are going north-south because they can't be bothered to talk to Southend and get a transit, so they just fly up the corridor. And of course, because you're sat underneath airspace restrictions at 2,500, everything's compressed into a 2,500 shelf and going north and south. How do you get the iPad to display? You need the Air Server. You can see it here, look. Air Server for Windows 10 Desktop Edition. Just go into the Windows Store and buy the Air Server. And then you just mirror your iPad. Used to work at an entertainer toy store in Chelmsford. £232 landing charge at EGLC off-peak. 660 in shoulder peak all the way up to 1.3k. Oof. Yeah, you see, I'd probably phone them up and just go, "Hey, I'm a YouTuber. Can I have a YouTube discount?" Or just something like, if I make a video and fly in, can you give me a discount, please? I mean, what's the worst they can say? He's like, no, buzz off, and I'm like, okay. But, you know, it's probably worth a try. I'd love to land there. You're probably living in one of the best. Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, actually, my instructor was telling me that, funnily enough, because I said to him, a little backstory here before we begin. I said to him, I said, how's things now, you know, post-corona? Because the airfield had to shut down like everywhere else. And he said, we have never been busier. He said, we've had to hire another 4 instructors to teach. Like, I said, what? He said, yeah, we've had to hire another 4 instructors to come in. Because there's so many people wanting to fly and have training and stuff, like post-lockdown. I think everybody that was going to get a PPL and had to put it on hold are just compressed, and now they all want to get the PPL. Sadly, a lot of the younger guys who are going to get the commercial rating and go on, you know, to fly in the aviation industry, they've put their plans on hold, but they're still getting their PPL, and they're going to wait for the market to pick up and then carry on and pursue it, I think. But yeah, just to answer your question, he also said that they'd had a load of Romanians come in from a flight school, and they're basically doing the commercial license over in Romania. But he said, but if you look where they live, he said you can take off and fly east 200 miles and not hit a single bit of airspace. So what they do is they send them over here, and they teach them to fly in our airspace, because they say if you can fly around here, you can fly anywhere in the world, because it's that complicated. So yeah, he had a load of Romanians coming over with to getting their commercial license and started, you know, doing like 50 hours around here. Is it hard to become an IRL instructor? You have to get your PPL, then your CPL, then you have to do so many hours, and you have to get instructor training, an examination as an instructor and stuff. Yeah, there's quite a bit to it. Yeah, yeah, you've got Southend, Gatwick, Heathrow, Stansted, and Luton, like all in that bit, all those blues things. And then you've got Farnborough, utter scumbags. Look what Farnborough did to the airspace. Probably better on that view, isn't it? Look what Farnborough did down there. If you look where London is, here, Farnborough grabbed an extra chunk of airspace around them and just made it really difficult for GA planes to get around here. And the CAA signed it off. And that's what's going on. They're basically grabbing airspace and making it harder to fly GA planes. Mr. Henk, thank you for 34 months. JTB, thank you for 69. Max with almost 2 years. Thank you, Max and Nev. Nano LP, welcome back. Pizza Bill Amsterdam, 41 months. Thank you, guys. Denver Colt, thank you. Right, so let's have a look at what's going on here. So we're going to be coming in from this direction. So it looks like Odilo is an approach waypoint here. So maybe we'll take like the RNAV. It's a lovely day. We'll just take the RNAV. RNAV 02, and then maybe some kind of Odilo transition if they have one. Okay, there you go. So all these like will be different waypoints around, but Odilo looks good to me. There you go. So that would work for us. RNAV 02. I checked the weather. The wind is like 03 or something. So we're going on 02. So we can take that. See if we can set the aircraft with that approach. Let's get the charts list over here. So runway 02. RNP. So if we, hopefully the caravan will have this loaded. We just load it in. Can we suggest a short route for you? No, because I'm flying FS economy routes. Very specific. Farmers military doesn't have to answer questions like why. It's still scumbaggery. Still complete scumbaggery on their part, I think. Okay, so we want to be down to 3,000 feet here, IP02, which is about 12 DME. So that's going to be our target. We can probably descend from Odillo. We don't need to fly that high today. Let's pin that. Yeah, that'll be fine. So then we've got a departure to deal with. So I don't know if you want to just fly directly to was it the Angers thing? But we can have a look at what's there. So they've got some Angers departures, look. They've got the yellow and the green. We can take one of those, the left turn out. Depends if, I don't know if it's going to have the procedure for it in the caravan. If not, we'll just track straight to Angers. Right, let's jump in the plane. This is the runway. It's a really bizarre taxi place here, look. It's all surrounded by red, yellow crosses. Is FS Economy working again? I think they're down to the last page of applications, so hopefully they'll be accepting new ones shortly. Thank you for 10 months, Deviant. You're right, dear. Mrs. is nicking my wife food again. Yeah, she's checking it's okay. She's doing the thing, what, like, you know.
I can't find a date on it, so I need to make sure it's not.
She can't find a date on it, yeah. They're doing what they do for the, you know, like Kings, where they taste their food to make sure it's not poison. I know I'm royalty, dear. I know. Thank you. I know. Thanks for sampling my banana. You didn't have to sample quite so much, though. Yeah. Yeah. Just a simple taste test would have done. Why food tax, yeah. Oh, that's so good. Smooth vanilla. I actually thought this was banana, but it's vanilla. Oh, man. Oh, that's so nice. That's literally like liquid ice cream. Oh, man. Hey? You gonna try the powder one? Sounds good. Put that over there. Right. Let's jump on board. And we'll get the fuel tanks turned on up here. Yeah, so I don't know which way we're going to taxi out of here, because it's all a bit weird. Like, we've got these X's everywhere. You thought you was losing altitude, but that's the mountains getting closer and I'm gaining height. Huh? Guys from your university founded that company. What are the names? Did you know them? Alright, flight plan. What is it? L... on the codes now. LFRS, LFPO. That's correct. You haven't had a taste yet, but the vanilla, you like vanilla the most, you love that then. Are you allowed to take the puppy on a small plane IRL? You'd be crazy. Loved your ILS video. Thank you, Zion. I got another one coming out today, Zion, but I'm doing the same thing, but I'm doing it in the caravan. So that was in the TBM, I think. So there's another video coming out today where I do it in the caravan, and I do a slightly more tricky approach. Fat Man, thank you for 11 months. Now, let's route to A and G. That's not right. I wonder if it's in as his full name. Nope. Interesting how it knows it as an airstrip and not as an actual VOR. Autopilot's still shonky. It can be. Nandes, thank you for 37. Mr. Fatman, thank you for almost a year. Is there a way of fixing what, sorry? Sometimes the autopilot can just like bank you over and dive you into the ground. If it's any consolation, my my instructor was telling me that that happened to him in a real plane. The autopilot system had a problem with the onboard, something to do with the software or circuit board, and he put the autopilot in and it literally banked him over and took him into a spiral dive. Luckily, he knew what to do, but yeah. Imagine that, IRL. That's pretty shocking. Yeah, I don't know why it's not taking this ident facility. Let's get rid of that a second. ANG is what it should be. VOR. So I don't know. Maybe it's expecting a destination at this point. Let's put LF PO on and see how we get on. So have you rented the aircraft? As you don't seem to have any in Europe with Squirrel. We don't have any in Europe with Squirrel yet, Langerville. We've built up the West Coast presence. We're now building up the East Coast presence, and then we're going to Europe. Thankfully, I'm using a plane that has been lent to me very kindly, leased from Kiwi Craig. So he basically sent me this plane to use. So that's what I'm using. Supernova. So what I tend to do is use the bank half mode on in the TBM and the Caravan, and that helps it a lot. Because if you don't have half mode on, when it tries to find a line, it overshoots it, and then it keeps coming back, and then overshoot, and it keeps doing this. If you put it on half bank mode, it more gradually finds it, which works a lot better. Mr. Zeon, thank you for 2 months. Can we... Nothing in menu.
Welcome back.
Who was that? Mr. Burke Black? The legend that is Mr. Burke Black. Coming in with the cannons. Burke, thank you very much for the raid, sir. Mods, can we get a shout out for Burke Black, please? He's a lovely guy, great streamer. Massive beard. Please can we give him a shout out? Give him a follow, guys. He's a great guy. I don't know, what was he playing today? Apart from Crusader Kings, he was playing last week, I think. I can't remember what he was playing now. He do love a good beard. Well, he's got a better one than me. He's also got a pirate ship that he streams from inside a pirate ship. Don't tell them the truth, Burke. Just go with it. You played II2. What's II2? I'm getting into your... Oh, Sturmovich. You played IL2 Sturmovich. Oh, right. Jeez, man. I've not played that for ages. Yeah, that's really hard, that game. That's a pretty hard game, that. Not going to lie. You actually feel like you're, like, flying around in wintry Moscow in a... I can't remember what the plane was now. Sturmovich, something or other. It's good.
Aye, 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 aye.
Mr. Highland Mark, thank you very much for 1,000 bits. Have a fantastic weekend, Mr. Squirrel. You too, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the raid, Bert. I suspect you're going to bed now at like 4 AM or something crazy. This is a bit of a problem because this thing doesn't seem to know. It doesn't seem to know where I want to go. So it doesn't know about Angers. What about the arrival? Does it know about that? Select the arrival. We were going to go for the arrival. Oh, go away. Select the approach. RNAV2 is what we're going to go for, I believe. But we wanted the Odilo transition, which is that one. Minimums we can't put in here, but we can load this in now. There we go. So I can't quite zoom out, but it should have all that bit in. So the only thing we're missing is the en route now. So let's try and see if it knows about Sable. Good night, Mr. Boat. There are so many flights that I can not talk in comms because button is turned off all the time. I'm not sure what you mean. Is there a chance there will be mods released where we can have more simple navigation tools in the plane instead of the G1000? When you say simple, the G1000 is... I mean, if you go to the models before that, like the Garmin 530 and 430, and they actually get more... They actually get harder to use in a way. The G1000 is actually pretty sophisticated bit of kit. I want to insert before this, but it doesn't seem to allow me to. Let's just try and do it. Hang on, Sable. We don't need a basic routing anyway. Okay, it knows about Sable. One is 69 nautical away, and one is 4,719 nautical away. I'm kind of thinking the one in France is the one we want. There we go. The question is, what altitude do we want to be at? We could go 7,000. That should be fine. Don't need any more than that. You can press the pan knob to get the pointer. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Hang on. See, in real life, if you had one of these buttons, this is so much easier. There we go. So we can see Sable, then Odilo now. So Odilo, I think we said we're going to descend from Odilo. Because we need to be at that P-something waypoint by 3,000. We'll do that when we get up in the air. Alright, that should give us enough to get on with things. We're going to go straight out of 0, 2, 3. I can't remember which one it is now. The Cessna 127 Sky is deluxe or premium deluxe plane slider. Yes, it is. Yeah, the G1000 version is the one that you get for free.
Happy anniversary.
Jack Garrett, thank you for 23 months. Close to a full golden nut. Thank you, Nike Tiger. Right, 7,000 is what we're going to go to. That'll be our planned.
Happy anniversary. Nutter.
put that on GPS mode. Don't think there's much in the way of wind, but there is a little bit of wind coming in. Is there any navigation aids we could use, I wonder? Ah. They've actually got Orly VOR right there. I'm just going to punch this route into here as well. That way I can bring up all the plates. Yeah, look at that. You got a whole bunch of things around here. OLN. There's a DME. OLE. Another DME. Blimey. They got a whole bunch of nav aids here. Assume you can purchase aircraft as well. I don't know. Like, if you have a standard edition, can you actually buy, like, the Cessna 172 non-G1000 version? Or do you have to, like, upgrade to deluxe or something? Because you should be able to buy the planes on their own, I would have thought. I don't think they let you, though.
Happy anniversary, Natter.
There's a VOR over here. It's not really much use to us, though. Alright, let's get it fired up. I need to start up FS Economy as well. The contact manager, there's additional planes that already are mentioned separately. Right, so you can just buy them individually. Is that what you're saying? Alright, flight director can come on, nav mode will go on. We've got the altitude selected. Go for 1200 feet on the initial climb out. Now I need to figure out how to get out of here. I mean, I guess we could kind of do a U-turn. It's a weird area, this, isn't it? Like, sure, the plane should have been here on the T rather than back there. It almost feels like it's been pushed back. It's a bomber that costs $24 more to upgrade to deluxe. I'm new to flying and flight simulator. Realised I would have the alternative version after 60 hours of figuring stuff out. The thing is, if they'd have done it the other way around, people would have complained about that as well. If they'd have given you the non-G1000 and then put the G1000 in the deluxe version, people would have complained about that. So, I think they're damned if they do and damned if they don't, to be fair. Okay, ignition's on. Fuel booster on. Mixtures on. Minimum. Idle. Fuel is definitely on. No clear prop now. To be honest, if I could get rid of him, I would do. Okay, fuel boost to normal. Taxi lights come on, so we'll basically taxi down to the runway and then we'll fire up FS economy. Is the plan. You hope they release more bush strips. No, this is the 208 caravan.
Happy anniversary, Natter. Welcome back.
Kyle Massey, welcome back. When I was flying to Southend, sorry, I was flying to Lyd yesterday, but decided to go via Southend's airspace, right? So I get over to Billericay, call up Southend, and ask for a zone transit to the south towards Lyd. And just before I was going to call him, somebody else called in a piper and said pretty much the same thing. I want a zone transit. And the guy said, I'll call you back, you're number 5. I was like, number 5? He's number 5. We're now going to be number 6. This guy is busy. So then this other dude called him back. And he said to him, please stand by, controller handover, and you're number 5. I was like, oh my god, this is not good. So anyway, it starts doing circles around Billericay. And realised that the wind was coming in from about 320, I think, and the wind was basically pushing me towards controlled airspace. So you think you're doing a nice circle like this, but you're not doing a nice circle. What you're doing is a spiral, like that, because the wind's pushing you towards controlled airspace. So instead, I looked out the window, and there was like a nice big bit of road where Billericay was. So I just basically focused on doing donuts over that instead. Because that way I've got like a thing to look at. So anyway, I called him up and he said, you're number 6. I think I must have done about 4 laps of Billericay before eventually he asked me to pass my details. And I asked him from a zone transit from Billericay to Sheerness, which is like it cuts right across his airspace. Which means I'm flying about southwest of Southend. So if I look out the window, I can see Southend. It was not a biggie, like got across no problem, but I just had to wait to get service. You nervous about flying in the UK? Yeah, it takes some getting used to, because, do you know what? It's the most annoying thing they've started doing now. So normally, when you leave control airspace, they will say to you, Squawk VFR or Squawk 7000. They don't say that now. For some stupid reason, they now all say Squawk Conspicuity. You're like, what? Nobody says that. But they're all doing it. They all say Squawk Conspicuity, so obviously this is a new thing from the CAA. Like, we can't be like everybody else and just say Squawk 7000, Squawk VFR. We have to say Squawk Conspicuity. It's like, when did this come in? No idea. This year, I guess. It's a mouthful. Oh, it's just... I don't know what that's about. What does that even mean? Yeah, exactly. Is that a word? Oh, yeah. Conspicuity, conspicuous, is all about being seen effectively. That's what it's all about. conspicuity devices like ADSB systems are designed to make it so that people can see you. Squawk conspicuity, though. Ugh. Even the sensors are unmanned with the virus. Yeah, I can believe it. Right, first rule of pulling up here is to activate the flight. That should load up a whole bunch of people to LF. Wait, I've got one to LFBD. That was a mistake. I think I might have clicked on the wrong thing. This passenger's going to be very disappointed when he arrives in Paris Orly. Oh dear. I don't even know where LFBD is. Rip. Looks like someone messed up. Hang on. Let me have a quick look at Sky Vector. LFPD. LFPO. Yeah, it's not a million miles away, but I ain't going 75 nautical that way for that guy. I wonder, I can cancel him, can't I? Hang on. If I cancel the flight and go back to FS Economy and get rid of that guy. LFRS, where's he gone? Wait, where is this guy? Oh, there he is. You, sir. You, sir, are not going to the same place that I'm going. That's the one, isn't it? LFBD. Wait a minute, LFBD? Oh, heck no. Oh, heck no, we're not going there. Okay, cancel selected assignments. Not quite sure how he ended up on board. Let's try that again. Good job I checked that, blimey. I need to took some people completely wrong direction. Right, let's see. So we want prop fully forward. Put the in-op fans on so people can breathe. Landing lights. All the lights. Flaps to takeoff position. That poor guy got on the plane and then I kicked him out and said, go home. Do you use a yoke or a joystick for the Boeing aircraft? I've used both. I don't mind either. At the moment I'm using a yoke.
Happy anniversary, matter.
Right, 03, direct climb out. Climb to 7,000. Autoparts all set up. Alright, let's do this. Where was the ATC check-in? What do you mean? Alright, power set. You got a 100-mile taxi achievement. By flying? Lol. And we're up. Just keep the airspeed going. Sensitivity for the pedals, yes. If you remind me when I'm on the ground, Ray, I have different pedals to you, though. Just bear that in mind. flaps coming up. It's quite heavy today. Whoa, that looks like a really random hole in the ground. See that? Let's turn the half bank mode on because otherwise it will just bank over way too much. Alright, autopilot's on, so have a quick look back. Scenery. Yeah, look, what's that? That doesn't look normal to me. What does the yaw damper do? It stops the plane doing this. But it doesn't work in the caravan currently, for some reason. Mr. Mongus, thank you for 3 months. I don't know, Velty. I think there's probably just some vertical scenery. Like one of the polygons is just pulled down, I think. Just something wrong with the elevation data, I think. There is a quarry. Well, maybe, I mean, maybe I'm wrong then. Maybe there is a quarry, but it seems... I don't know, it's a pretty big hole. I mean, maybe it's supposed to be there. Rip. Hang on. I'm asking too much from this plane. It seems to be fully loaded today. Okay, okay. Calm down. Why don't you want to climb today, I wonder? Climbing at 300 feet per minute. I was asking it to do 800, which is more than fine for this plane. But it just didn't want to climb out. Knock my waifu over. En route to Sable, 69 nautical miles. Wasn't PO 623 where we needed to be... I think we need to be descended by... Oh, that was PO 2. Which is all the way down here. So IP02 we need to be 3,000 feet. Which is here. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. We'll have plenty of time to descend from Modillo. Plenty of time. There's a big patch coming shortly, I read on FS Elite. You don't need to read FS Elite to get that. If you go to the Microsoft Flight Sim page, they have every week they publish their updates on what they're working on. They have a roadmap and stuff. And all the details of things they're working on currently were listed like last week, I think. Of which the autopilot systems and glass cockpit performance, all that kind of stuff. That's what they're working on. FS Elite just take that and then like repackage it. Right, let's see if we can get a climb going again. How many hours did Microsoft Flight Sim so far? I don't know. I think it's on the homepage somewhere, isn't it? Okay, it looks like it's happy with an 800 climb now. Just. Let's make it 700. It's a very clear day in France. Look at this. How do I reach the real Microsoft Flight Sim news and updates page? Every time I search, I get something different. Probably, maybe go via their Twitter then. If you go to Microsoft Flight Sim's Twitter, they often post out a link to their patch notes. That'll take you to the website. Can we stop for some wine? Funnily enough, I'm not a massive lover of French wine. I much prefer South African, South American wine, or South African wine, or Australian, New Zealand, but South American's my favourite. Mr. Robojo, thank you for, is it 6 or 8 months? Thank you. Will you be buying the 3080 or waiting to see what else they bring out? I'm going to wait, probably, Auburn. I'm hoping for something with a little bit more VRAM. Something around 12 to 16 gig of VRAM would be my ideal purchase on that. So I'm just going to hold off and see what happens. You're a California wine snob. I suppose it's cheap for you to get over there. Although, isn't California getting ravaged with fire? Like, I don't know what that's doing to the wine market. Probably not good things, I would have thought. That's my thought, Supernova. 3080 Super or something. Or maybe even like an aftermarket version. I don't know. See, that's a quarry. That's what a quarry should look like. I think that was a defect back then. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have a 2080 Ti, so for me, it's not like a huge jump, so I can afford to wait for something with a bit more VRAM. I think if you're coming from, a 1080 or something, it's a massive jump for you. It'd be interesting to see how much supply they have of these graphics cards in the run-up to Christmas. Well, yeah, if you're coming from a 980, that's a pretty much insane jump right there. There's Sable. Don't know, Alban. We'll just have to wait and see. Mr. Mad Mick, thank you very much for 68 months. Sir. See, like I ordered one of those honeycomb throttles, but I didn't get on the initial one, and I think I slightly missed out. Did I get the 4 week? I think I might have got the 4 or the 6 week delivery. So I'm kind of thinking I'll get that around about November. Shribbit's all on the screen. Right above the logos in the middle. I think I got the 4 week. I think you're right, Dry. I think I just bagged the 4 week and then I think Somi got the 6 week. Mr. Jaffa Cake, Bullseye 50. Thank you, sir. Why the delivery so long? What, for the honeycomb? I think it's a manufacturing problem. They can only make so many. Don't forget, we're not out of this corona thing. Like, production and supply is still very much affected. It is extremely flat round here. I didn't realise, like, France was just so incredibly flat here. You ordered a few SciTech panels, looking forward to some more buttons to play with. So, you know those panels that Whiteland gave me? Apparently Logitech have released some drivers for them this week, which I need to look at. The flight instrument panel. Let me have a quick Google. Where's my browser going? Where's my browser? I'm going blind. There it is. Logitech panel, flight instrument panel, driver. Sold out. What a surprise. Setup guide, downloads. Microsoft Flight Simulator plugin. They did as well, look. 8th of September. That was this week. Add support for all Logitech flight panels, instrument, switch, multi and radio into Microsoft Flight Sim. They have never released a driver so quickly for any platform as they have for Microsoft Flight Sim. Please note that at the time of the release you need to start a flight in Microsoft Flight Simulator and browse to your desktop and run the Logitech Microsoft Simulator plugin. This will be addressed in an upcoming patch. What? So you have to actually be flying and then you run the program. That's a good bug. You had to use spad.next. That's exactly what I did. I bought spad.next and then thinking that Logitech won't release drivers for like another year because they never do. And they went ahead and just basically made a plugin for it, so yeah, I'll have to try that. We'll try that one later. It works, but kinda, yeah. How many people downloaded that exe and never read that text that said, "You must start Microsoft Flight Simulator"? Karth, welcome back. I really want to get my own livery for this thing and the TBM. I emailed Clink, you know, the guy who put that package together. I emailed him back. He's not replied to me because I basically said, "Do you know of any of the guys that do these liveries? Might want to do one for Squirrel." Never replied. Okay. Get the multi-panel on back order just for the autopilot stuff on it. What do you mean? Do you mean like the heading bug and that kind of thing? Matrix, how you doing? Just see roughly where we are. Oh, we're going to be overflying Le Mans. Oh, yesterday I overflew Brands Hatch racetrack and there was I don't know if there was a race on, but there was about 15 cars fully painted racing around it, so I think there was a race. I flew right over the top of Brands Hatch. That was cool. Whereabouts is Le Mans track in relation to Le Mans itself? I wonder if we can see it. The track is east. Oh, probably won't see it then. We're going to be flying west. We won't see it, I don't think. Can't decide which orientation I like best. MSVR Club Car Championships yesterday. That would be what I flew over then. This app is Sky Demon. It's the one I use when I fly VFR in the plane. This app is really, really good for VFR flying in Europe. It's like probably the best. The Le Mans track is southeast. We're going over the northwest, so I don't think we're going to have any joy there. That's a north up track, so southeast would be over here somewhere, I guess. So yeah, I don't think we'll see it. Nice to have one tablet, but if you don't have one, the desktop one is great. True. I loaded the, yesterday I spent some time and loaded the group's planes into Sky Demon with the transponder codes and stuff, so I can just pick the plane I'm flying now. Some super UPen types, the i5 and the i7 are serious issues of performance. I've honestly, sorry, Larger Life, I have absolutely no idea about that. No, I've never been to Spa-Francorchamps. It's always been in my list of places to visit. To go and see, like, a race at Spa. I'd love to do that. Let's have a quick look at where we are. Sable. Spa 24 hours is fantastic. El Rouge is something else in real life. Yeah, I don't know about a 24-hour race. I don't know, like, I find it a bit of a weird one, that. If you go to a 24-hour race, you're not going to see all 24 hours of the race, right? So you're going to spend some time sleeping. You're going to spend a lot of time not at the track watching the race, especially at night when all you can see is just lights flashing past. And then they've got all kinds of other activities going on, haven't they? They've always got things you can go and do, like, I don't know, like a fairground or stuff, go and eat and drink. You did go to Spa 2 years ago for the F1 weekend. You waited 2 hours in a queue where everyone pushed everyone forward. Oh my god. Imagine that. Imagine that now after COVID. They're like, everybody stay 2 meters apart. I don't think I have tried Biscoff spread now. The Nürburgring 24 is your endurance race of choice. German fans are incredible. Yeah, I'd like to go and see a Nürburgring race as well, actually. Oh, Silverstone does get massive crowds, yeah. An F1 weekend ticket price now for Silverstone is just oof. North Life 24 is great because you get all the campsites and barbecues. I bet people just go for the food and drink and the entertainment as much as they do for the racing, right? It's an excuse to just spend 24 hours with your mates, getting drunk, eating food, and watching cars whiz around a track. Right, that is, I think... Wait a minute. I was going to say it's Le Mans, but it's not. It's called Sable-sur-Sarthe or something. That town. People go for the socialising and the beer. Yep. People build scaffolding in the forest weeks before the race. What? What, is that a track? It's more like a running track. No, we haven't got to Le Mans yet. That's going to be on the right as we get there. You're going to do a group ride this weekend? I don't know. Should we, Joe? Should we do a group VFR this weekend? Gotta make some money for our squirrel. How much have you made this week, Lol Soccer? The more Arnage is where the track is. Well, it looks like we could be flying right overhead then. If you look, we're actually tracking on course. Straight to the mall. About 20k more than Dre. Really? I don't know, Thunderbug. I think I'd probably fall asleep at some point in the early hours. How much money's in the escrow account? I think we're back up to about 600k. I mean, we bought a TBM how many days ago? About 5 or 6 days ago we bought a TBM. At the moment we're just about getting a new plane every week. But I want to show you something. If I can find it. If you go to the FSE reporter and then you go to current issue view online, you get this PDF. And if you look in this PDF here, you will notice that in August the top 10 groups, active pilots, Air Squirrel, 84. We're in second in the top 10 groups on FSE. Now, I want us to be number one, obviously. So, we need to get flying. That's what we need to do in September. We need to get flying and get that number even higher than it is. And then we can top that chart. Well, John Fly, I think we stole John Fly's second position actually. John Fly's probably not very happy right now, but I think I mean, don't forget this was only August, right? September there's going to be even more flights, so we'll see how we get on. But I would expect us to be in triple figures for September. How do you see the chart? You go to FSE Reporter here. I'll just give you the link. You just go there, and then you go view online here, or download the PDF. It's basically a big report full of stuff. I haven't read through it, a lot of it. Now boarding, I presume, is a list of new pilots. Look, 2,729 pilots added in August. 2,729 added in August. It's insane. And it has like top destinations, I don't know, frequent flyer programs. Look at these, like, Hall of Fame. 10 years. 10 years these people have been in FSC. And then when you get down to page 19, that's where you have those tables. I reckon we should take an advert out in this thing. I haven't even read through all of this yet. So random, this thing. Now accepting new client. Yeah, we should take a page out, Squirrel. Join Squirrel. Run an ad. Some stuff about the FBO. Wait, what? $3.50 for fuel? Was that $3.50 for fuel, 5% maintenance. What's this? That's a list of airfields they have. That's nuts. Anyway, we're going to miss Le Mans for not careful. Parachute drop zone in 3.6 miles. Do you think it's authentic having the throttle on the left side when almost every airplane it's on the right? Same for the stick. When it's not between the legs, it's on the left cockpit, land power. Well, I have to work with what I work with, right? So if I put my throttle on my right-hand side, the problem I would face, Lampenbauer, is where do I put my mouse? And I am not using my mouse left-handed. Now, here's the thing. If you fly the A10 Warthog, the throttle is actually on your left. So in that sense, that throttle is in the correct position for an A10 Warthog, or what it's designed to be. But in reality, I mean, bearing in mind, you know, I fly sims and real planes, and it doesn't affect me in any way. I just become agnostic to the whole thing, rather than insisting that I have this on that side. I mean, if you got a throttle quadrant, you could, you know, like the one from Honeycomb, I could look at mounting it here, but then I'd have to move that Stream Deck somewhere else. And then I'd need to put the iPad over here. Because if I put the iPad over here, then I've got the keyboard problem, right? So it's like, there's only so much space, and I have to make things fit in. So is this the racetrack now? Is this it here? Go around this bit. Restricted area. Wow, look at that. It's right next to the airport. That's insane. That is really cool. Hey! It's massive, isn't it? It's actually massive. I would love to land here while the Le Mans is on. I bet you can't. DK Trucker, thank you for 30 months. Ratty, thank you for 38. Kaisigia, thank you for subbing. Welcome. You flew with a helicopter over Le Mans yesterday. Last year. Nice. That's cool. Right, we should have a quick look back in the plane. Oh, that's fine. We've got a while to Adillo. Adillo's 33 minutes away, and then we need to be down 3,000 by IP2. Let's have a look at the chart while we've got a bit of time. I've not actually looked at this yet. FP. Oh, so we need to be a. Yeah, okay. So we establish on IPO2, and then our descent point is FPO2. .018. Airport elevation 291. Cool. We can handle that, I think. I was flying this week. Flying was really good this week. On Wednesday was the first time I've flown since February, so that was blowing off the cobwebs quite a bit. We took off out of North Weald. We flew west towards the Chiltern Hills. Don't know if you know London at all, but it's like Chilterns are like 11 o'clock position. So we kind of flew there and turned around and came back, and then did five landings at North Weald, and the fifth one, and this was all in a crosswind. So yeah, my first flying for nearly 6 months was in a strong crosswind, so that was fun. And then the very last landing, he was like, "Oh, do you want to do the short field grass runway landing?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And if you actually look at North Weald, it has a big tarmac runway, and then next to it there's a really small grass runway. I think it's about 550, 600 meters long or something. And as we were coming in to land, there was another plane taxiing right in front of the grass runway, so I had to go over his head and then get the plane down. And you know, in a crosswind with a 600-meter runway, you've got to commit. Like, you've got to get in there. You've got to be almost at stall speed just at the point where you reach the grass, otherwise you'll overshoot. And if you overshoot, you go over a taxiway, which will upset the plane quite a bit. So it's a lot of fun. And of course, you can't brake too hard when you're on the grass. If you do, you put the nose in the grass, and then you'll have even bigger problems. So you can't heavy brake when you land on grass.